All right, YouTube. I'm doing this from memory really quick. So basically, I think it's fair to say that generally speaking, the conflict that we see out in the world can be narrowed down to two groups. I mean, amid all the complexity of life, but it seems like one group is in it for the search for truth, and another group is in it for peace of mind. Okay, one group, the peace of mind group, isn't necessarily interested in having an open-ended discussion about the reality, the physical reality on the ground, because that doesn't provide peace of mind, right? At some point, they sort of just cut it off and leave it to somebody else, or they're not interested, or they, cherry pick things that only support what they already think. And this doesn't get at, the reality, right? Because reality goes a lot of different ways. And the people that are searching for truth, they never have peace of mind, because if your mind's always having to shift because you're waiting for the next piece of knowledge, you're never going to have peace of mind, because in fact, the search for truth generates even more anxiety, because you start to begin to understand how little we know as a species. So the search for truth does not provide peace of mind, but the search for, or the let's just say the resting on the point of generating peace of mind does not bring truth. So, and these ideas are not two sides of the same coin. I want to stress that. This is not one side and the other side. These are qualitatively different points, though they're major points, and it seems that reality deterministically sort of breaks down into these 2 points. But again, they're not fundamentally two sides of the same coin, your way and my way. And the main reason for that is consequence, okay? Consequence. So the people that would like peace of mind are really not interested in discussing the negative consequences of their actions, because again, that opens things up to anxiety that, the search for truth has. They don't want that anxiety. They want peace of mind. So they're not interested as individuals in discussing how what they're doing may negatively affect others. Okay. So there becomes a conflict between them and everybody else. And in their view, it's that everybody else is just another particularity similar to theirs. Everybody in the world is just doing their own thing and we're doing our own thing, except that some things that people all around the world and subgroups do negatively affects other groups. Like they come over into your space and they think it's their space. And the reason why is their fallacious reasoning in a lot of, when I'm talking about the injustices of particularity by subgroups. The problem is caused by the people who won't consider that what they're doing to keep their peace of mind unjustly interferes in the lives of others who are just trying to survive. If you're just trying to survive and you're staying in your space and somebody else comes over into your space and prevents you from surviving being human necessity, which we all have a right to here. We're all citizens of Earth before we're citizens of anything else. If they're coming into your space and preventing you from surviving and trying to subordinate you to the wills of their group, they're committing the crime of affirming something they have no right to affirm. Therefore, you must react by the rules that they have set, okay? So then if they come back and say, well, I thought you were going to allow me to do what I want. Well, the fact is, you're not allowed to want to force me to not survive well to make way for you, okay? We all have to work together, and we have to separate what we want from what we need. And we have to put above all the needs of everybody. So that means no peace of mind qualification of, well, whatever you're doing, it's wrong, so I don't care what happens to you. That's not the way it works if you're talking about justice, because we all participate in limited systems. No one decided that, I as an individual was going to emerge into this system with limited resources. They certainly didn't decide that I was going to. Neither side did. So, in a sense of justice, the right thing to do is to prevent suffering of the majority. So, I just wanted to point this out. The search for truth is not going to give you peace of mind in a sense that you can relax and just enjoy it, because there's always new things coming and you have to learn to discipline yourself so you don't go too far, so you don't search for truth so much that you drive yourself into a hole with anxiety. But that being the case, when you get to a certain point, it becomes an issue of priority. What's necessary truth and what is just things that I want to know? Dig in on necessary truth. And I think this is where the truth people get it right, because we dig in on necessary truth first out of the priority that comes up when we decide to search for truth. Then we separate necessity from want, and we're able to understand that the highest principle is necessity for all. There's no higher principle than that. Providing necessity for all somehow. You can't do that if you're just searching for peace of mind for yourself, okay? So this leading into empathy, the one I'm trying to get at is that ideas like universality, tolerance, empathy, they're good universal affirmations, okay? When we affirm these universal principles, these deterministic emergences they're going to happen in any reality, on any alien world, where individuals come up and when individuals emerge through evolution, aliens, where one alien has the ability to kill another and they need things in order to survive, all these principles are going to come up in those situations. These are universal principles that are determined to emerge in any physical reality that looks like ours, okay? So when we're talking about empathy, universality, and, like paradox of tolerance, we have to condition them. We have to understand that some people aren't going to accept the social contract because they want peace of mind. They don't want cooperation. And believe me, they're willing to kill. They're externalizing the physical conflict to keep peace of mind intellectually, right? They've got it switched around backwards. It's my intellectual peace of mind and your death, and I'm willing to kill you in order to maintain my peace of mind. Whereas the other side is saying, no death is acceptable. We all have to fight our battles intellectually so we don't have to fight them physically. And that's fucking correct. That is the way to be. Just want everybody to understand, that the search for peace of mind for me and the search for truth are not two sides of the same coin, okay? They're qualitatively different points of view, and they have different consequences. And one side sacrifices the physical well-being of everybody who isn't them. And there's numerous types of groups. There's nationalism, there's religions, there's all kinds of different particular subgroups that do this. Your physical detriment is no worry of them, because their subgroup is more important than the larger universal group. Nobody's subgroup goals should cross the line of the detriment of other people's necessity. That's justice, that's fairness, that's universal human rights. That's not just another particularity. Like, people that are parts of particular groups tend to believe that everybody else out there is also just part of a particular group. And so when you bring universal principles to them that are based on deterministic reality that none of us have control over, that's just there, they say, you're just choosing that, or you're part of a particularity or a subgroup. It's not true, okay? Universality is. So as long as physical reality remains the same, and I mean, like, as long as human beings, without the help of machinery and technology, can't fly tomorrow, or as long as someone's not living to be 1,000 years old just out of the blue, we all live by the same rules. And we have to realize this, and universality is the changing singular focus point of physical reality. And that transcends anybody's particular subgroup. They feel so importantly that they need to protect for their own individual peace of mind. Their individuality is never more important than the detriment of the entire group. So if you guys like this kind of philosophical subject matter, help us out by liking the video and subscribing to the channel.